And welcome to Icarus Patchnotes discussion week 130. Echo couldn't make it, so I'm here with Carl today. Hey Carl, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good.
Good, good. I'm doing not bad myself either.
Good. It's a long weekend over here, so I can't complain. And the weather was pretty good today,
Huh.
so let's
If
see if the
only you
weather
had your
improves.
gaming rig there already, you could have been playing a lot
Uh,
this weekend.
yeah, true, but I do need to get out a bit more since I started using the motorbike to get back and forth from the office. I haven't walked as much, so it's I should kind of get back into the physical aspect of moving around because that was an improvement to my health. But we're here to talk about the
Hmm.
upcoming update or the update that's already been released, right?
Yep, early this morning.
Nice.
Right, so talking about Icarus week 130 update. So we have two new pooches. Laika herself, and we have perks. The new pets Laika and the perk are now available in the Orbital Workshop for you to bring down to join on Icarus. Now, the name Laika was already used as one of the default names for one of the workshop dogs before, but now we get like the proper Laika, as you can also see in the concept art with a nice special harness on. So, in our previous free Laika update, we added the pet companions to the game, as well as a new DLC with extra content for those who want to support development. Now, some of this content wasn't ready yet in time, but we kept working on it, and now it actually is ready for this update. Below is a link to the update 5 weeks ago for more info about the whole Leica update. Well, we did this update, discussed it extensively 5 weeks ago already, so not gonna do that again today. So we continue with the patch notes. Now this week debuts two new four-legged friends. The perk for the owners of the Animal Companions DLC, and Leica herself for everyone to get from the Orbital Workshop. So whether you got the DLC or not, you still will get Laika as free content.
Okay. Yeah,
Now we have also got some progress updates on our project to add more operations to Styx and the Olympus open worlds by converting over more missions and a player voted poll so you can decide what next week's new item will be. One side note here though, I have not seen this poll yet on the Discord server. So,
is that where it will be hosted, the poll on the
yep,
Discord?
a little bit further on in the patch notes there will be some more info about the poll and also the choices for the poll.
Makes sense. Well, it's nice that it's able to provide the community some input in the future development or priority of the releasing of certain content. How practical that will be in the long run. Obviously, if it's given adequate amount of timing, you could dedicate resources to testing and pushing out content A versus content B. But yeah, that it might be a little bit of a. It depends on how they approach it. Would be and what timelines they would offer would make it
Mm,
achievable or not.
I reckon both options are already ready to go, but they are releasing one next week and the other one they keep for, I don't know, maybe
Another
when
week.
they have a week where they feel like they don't have enough new stuff, so they can add that.
Yeah, true. That would be the safer option, but I think it would obviously be a little bit of a. I mean, yeah, it's so then not streamlining. It will be rationing the content coming out. So
Exactly,
so that there's a constant improvement rather than everything and then nothing. So
exactly. So, in my opinion, a sensible thing to do: keep something in
yeah,
reserve,
definitely.
which you can like roll out on a moment's notice.
Yeah, via polling or something like that. That's pretty smart.
So, a couple of notable improvements this week. Pistol damage has received a 50% damage buff. They upped the damage from 100 to 150 damage, bringing it more in line with other firearms. Now, I don't have the numbers of the bolt action rifle or the hunting rifle or the shotgun or any of the bows. Also depends obviously on your ammo type.
Yeah,
The pistol was always lacking in damage.
pretty
However,
much. Let's say in practicality.
yeah, by a 50% buff does sound quite a lot. Again,
Um,
I have nothing to compare it with at the moment, but
yeah, I mean, the thing is that unless you've extensively used the item pre-buff, you wouldn't really be able to notice a drastic improvement or be able to,
well, to an
effectively measure
extent.
the improvement. No, I mean, same here. I just remember it was garbage
Yeah, I've tested
and
pistols
trash.
before, and indeed they were not worth it. However,
I think the last,
I'm gonna test them
the,
again, and maybe now they
of
are
course.
worth it. Like
I mean,
a
if you
nice,
take a
yeah.
I mean, if you look at the mission that you saved, or not saved, but where you went to go, yeah, I think it was saving. We saved like the mower somewhere, and then we sheltered in the house, and then we checked the chest of a abandoned prospectors, where the mower was owned by somebody else. I can't remember what the mower's name was. It was a
Wasn't that
named
the one where we
mower.
had to rescue Daisy?
Daisy, that's the one, yeah. So in that house on that mission, there was a chest, and in that chest was a pistol.
Yeah.
So I remember taking that thing, trying to shoot something, and it laughed at me and then smashed into my face. And I was like, this is a piece of garbage. Because if you used a bow, like the Larkball bow in comparison with, a comparative arrow, it would have outdamaged the pistol. And
Okay,
yeah, that
okay,
just
but
doesn't
you
make any
know
sense.
as well as I do, the Larkwell bow is quite overpowered.
No, it is, don't get me wrong, but
So
we're putting it in perspective
you
because,
could
like I
better
said,
compare it maybe to I don't know recurve bow, the tier three
yeah, but
one.
then you're comparing. No, of course, and it is like a, duct tape and metal tube kind of pistol.
Yeah.
It's not an actual pistol. So uh, yeah, like I said,
So
it'll still be to see.
comparing it to the Larkwell bow is comparing
Yeah,
a tier three planet crafted firearm to a top end workshop bow.
that's true. But it's also like to the point where I'm not sure. Is there a pistol in the game that has a magazine yet?
Actually, the workshop pistol will have a 4-shot magazine.
Yeah. So the fact, therefore, this buff would be, in my opinion, far more significant in the sense that if it also um, uh, carries across to that pistol than just the tier three crafted pistol, because that pistol was, yeah, let's just say it takes long to reload, and that's the biggest thing.
The
That's the
reload
same
is
thing with the
actually
crossbow.
fairly quick on the pistol. Quicker than the bolt action.
Uh, the bolt action wasn't too bad, but in the bolt action you got the top tier perk, which had the chance of instantly reloading it,
Yeah.
which was fairly
You have
a
similar
bit
talents for
funny.
pistol though.
I can't remember if there was a reload one, but let's just say on the damaging scale, it is a buff. Whether or not it's sufficient to make it a viable item is to be seen.
True,
So,
true. Another notable improvement, the sprint speed multiplier stats now affect the movement speed of the mounts correctly. This does mean a speed buff for the Tusker, but a speed nerf for the horse. Well, the horse was never for the quick travels. For quick travels you always use a MOA. Tusker was slow, so it's a good thing they buffed the speed of the
well,
Tusker.
that's yeah.
And another notable improvement, adjustments to chicken collision and walk angle. This will improve the ramp climbing ability. Yes, chicken can't climb ramps, they can't climb stairs. They might be able to climb roofs, but it was always best for chicken to like leave them on the ground and put the food
And
and
flat.
water troughs on the ground, not on the floor. So
Well,
hopefully,
chickens are actually really mobile, so this should theoretically make it more realistically.
exactly. So yeah, hopefully they'll be able, a little bit better able to move around.
Yeah, less effort for the owners to ensure that everything is in arm's reach of the animal.
Yeah,
So
and also
a little
like
bit of self-dependence.
you have like a nice floor where you put the beds on, the food and water troughs on, and then the chickens they were on the flooring, and then all is fine. But as soon as they walk off a ramp to the ground, they never could come back anymore, and they couldn't reach the food and water troughs, etc., etc. So hopefully that has been fixed now.
Well, so we'll see.
Nice picture of Laika and the pug, both
It
similarly
actually
small in
looks like the
size.
pug. Yeah, but if looking at the pug's size, because it looks like he's extremely close to the prospector's leg, pugs aren't that big. Pugs never reach knee height. Pugs are half that size.
Well,
So
this
my
is an Icarus pug, kinda.
yeah. So I mean, it
Although
looks like
chrono
a dog.
flown in, cryogenically frozen. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, maybe my memory of pug sizes are adjusted, but yeah, pugs usually don't aren't that big.
oh, it is still a rather small dog though.
Yeah, true. It is.
So this week we have the two new dog breeds. Now each of the two dogs have the dog archetype talent trees, so their own talents, and their own vestiges and trophies to collect. I.e., they
Oh,
once
nice.
again encourage us to kill the dog and make a
No,
trophy out of it.
it's only when he dies by natural causes that you just keep him in memory by mounting his head on a stick and burning it
Natural
on the wall.
causes like an arrow in the eye, yes.
Yeah, that's a natural thing that could occur, yes. Or
Happens
accidentally being kicked off a cliff, you know, accidents happen. So,
happens quite regularly on Icarus though.
yeah,
I
yeah. And
see a
falling
lot of
trees, you
animals
know.
dying to an arrow in the eye lately.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So we have Laika the dog. Laika is based on the likeness of the real Laika, who was one of the first animals in space and the first to orbit the Earth.
And you have the
And
YouTube there?
a link to the YouTube, which was 5 weeks ago, I believe, in the Patchnotes as well. So I'm not gonna check it again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Laika the dog is now purchasable with Ren from the Orbital Workshop for all players, regardless if you have bought the Animal Companions DLC or not. So again, this is part of the free content. You don't need exotics for it, just Ren. Now, once bought, you can then bring it down to the surface to join you as a four-legged companion on your adventures, or to keep you company around your base. She does come in both tan and brown variants.
Interesting.
Uh, I'm looking at the two images above. They do have slightly different colors. But so does the perk,
Yeah,
so it might have to do something with the purple haze in the
yeah,
grasslands biome in the lower image.
yeah.
Then again, it does seem more orangey than the one above though.
Yeah, the above one is pretty brown.
Yeah,
So,
so we'll see.
hmm
So again, like the dog does not require any DLC and is freely available for all players to unlock in the workshop. And Laika also comes with a special harness. There's also a craftable harness made at the ranching station for 25 leather and 15 rope, usable exclusively on Laika variants. Not on any other dog, only on Laika. I haven't played yet today, so I don't know whether or not it's going to be a usable harness, as in functional, or just cosmetic. I will check it out, obviously, during the gameplay.
okay.
So, yeah, again, harness is only for Laika. The other new dog is the Perk, which is part of the Pets DLC. So if you already acquired a Patch DLC, you will now be able to also bring down the perk. If you don't if you haven't bought the Patch DLC yet, you do want a perk, hey, buy the Patch DLC. Actually, buy the Pet Companion Pack DLC. So you next to the pets from the Pet Companion packs like cats and dogs and a perk, you also get like a couple of fancy food and water troughs, extra saddles, and also the zebra rescue mission. Now the Pet Companion Pack is currently 20% off for €12.63. If you go for the entire pets bundle, it's a total of 36% off. You pay €18.92. So basically for we're talking about €6 more, 6.30. You get the creature comforts pack and the zebra rescue mission, and you support the development of the game a bit more. Now, for those who have also bought the Pet Companions DLC, you'll now also be able to purchase a perk from the Orbital Workshop to join you on the service. The smallest of our breed so far, the perk is for those who prefer a more peaceful life and aren't too worried about losing it in underfoot or in medium height grass.
Yeah.
Now,
Pugs, based upon the image below, is yeah, it's still a little bit bigger than. Well, actually, no, that's a more representative
no.
size of a fully grown pug. Yeah, I'd say.
Now it says it's the smallest of the breed so far, but is it bigger than Laika? It looks like they are
No, it's smaller.
comparable in
It's
size.
smaller. It's no, Leica's a bit bigger and taller sitting, I think.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
not
be much. We're
not
talking
by
about
much.
single digit percent, no, single percentages. It's probably like
Look
10% at most.
look at the image directly under notable improvements with the brown Laika. They do look similar in size though, the Perk and Laika.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You should think about looking at the image slightly above the picture. The pug is much more closer to the camera, and even though it might be bulk, it's not in length of paws or in height. So it depends on how you define it. That pug
true,
might
true.
look probably way more than like it, but
Oh
might
yeah,
be bigger. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, coming soon, new operations. Now we're currently working through the missions on Styx as a part of part 2 of the project to transition the majority of missions over to operations. Now this is a time-consuming project, as the missions we are converting now require a lot more adjustment and testing than previous missions, which were more straightforward. Now the whole aim of this converting missions to operations is to provide more operations for people to enjoy in their open world, and making it easier to play the way you wish to play, easier than being restricted to certain game modes. Now, as a reminder, some of the missions will not be converted over to open world, and then we're talking specifically the exploration missions. These exploration missions were created to provide a bit of an open world experience before open world came into the game, and also to provide an environment where players could farm exotics without a heavy time restriction. Now currently, when you do prior missions, these are unlocked automatically. The exploration missions are unlocked automatically in the mission tree, but these might even be removed entirely in the future, as they now have little place in the current state of the game. Basically replaced with open world. Open world is
Yeah.
exploration mission 2.0, basically.
I don't. Yeah, I think was it an exploration mission that we farmed the exotics on, where we ran? You spawned in the northern forest biome, and then you found the one node next to the river. You ran down past to
Yeah,
check the desert biomes. So we ran like over most of the map to farm 3 exotic nodes and then
Yeah,
extract. And we were able to do that in a relatively quick time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so it
Especially
wasn't,
because you
yeah,
didn't have to worry about any other mission objectives, which you, by the
yeah,
way, always can ignore. But yeah, there were no other
yeah.
mission objectives. You just drop down with your space extractors and
Well, I said built in the beginning. We built a base, tech up to tech 2, and then the
tier
base
3
becomes.
actually for the biofuel
Oh,
extractors. But yes, those were indeed
yeah,
the exploration missions, the 30-day missions.
yeah.
But yeah, they kind of became obsolete when open world came out.
Yeah, especially because now they wouldn't have been if exotics did not refresh or respawn, but that's now been taken care of or balanced. I'm not sure, did they actually have a balancing round between the fact that exotics, because I mean, let's face facts, you've extracted quite a few exotics on your open world.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually just wondering if it would have been better to have had, not a consistent respawn rate, but a random occurrence respawn rate. Like it could take anything ranging from the X amount of hours in game up until a maximum of close to 10 days in game before it
Well,
would actually
that's
respawn.
something what I've been talking about since they first started. 50, like since the first
Having it,
news
yeah.
we got about, hey,
Mm.
we are going to do exotics respawn.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I would have
Yeah.
suggested is don't I mean have it like in a random generation. So on the spawn it would generate a new timer which you can't see, but it would be anything varying from the minimum time up into a noticeably big time difference because the fact is it's a very cool event, right?
Oh yeah.
And and the fact is if you spam the event, it takes away from the speciality of it. So if it was once every week or up until a week or maybe 2 weeks later in game that you would suddenly hear the meteorites coming in, they're like, oh sweet, yay, we've got the exotics again. Rather than, okay, well, it's 10, 9, 8, 5, 2, 1 meteors. Oh, great, I have my resources again. The predictability of the respawning
Yeah,
does take away
not only the
specialness of
predictability,
it.
but this is what I've been saying since they came out with the news. We're going to do exotics respawn. This is gonna devaluate exotics.
Yeah, yeah, it has. It has. That's also a side effect, but it's also for me, it's the sure thing. It devalues it. I mean, over enough time, it would devaluate, make it less valuable to begin with. But it's a special event. It's a cool event. It's something that's supposed
Yeah.
to be unique, and it's the same thing as you came across the original nodes. It's like, oh, I heard the sound. I heard the sound. It's a cool sound. That means there's exotics here somewhere. There it is. Oh, how cool is that? And
Yeah, it's
if
less
you
exciting
flood
now,
the
indeed.
event, now of course, and obviously it would lose its sting, but there would always be that sort of if it's a rare item and it took time or effort to go find it, and it is difficult, that it would just retain more of its special. That's my opinion. No, anyway,
Yeah, that's when we were doing those missions. It already became like, like, like,
we
like,
knew where it spawned, but we had
yeah,
to run around for it. We're like, oh
like
yeah,
back in the days, you were doing a mission, and then when you accidentally stumbled over an exotic vein, you were like, "Hey, exotic vein, do we have time to?"
yeah, yeah.
And then
Do
we
it then.
did
Yeah,
do the exploration missions. We were like, "Okay, we know there are a couple of veins here. Now let's go look for them."
yeah.
And
Then
right
it's
now
more
in
of
the
a
open
like
world, it's like, meteor events has happened again, but
mhm,
I can't be bothered to even go
yeah,
look for the exotic veins.
exactly. So,
But yeah.
but anyway, so
So the poll for next week is going to be either the workshop pistol or the turret. Now next week we'll be trialing our first ever player voted update. You'll be able to vote in a Discord poll,
mhm.
and it's basically just a link to the Icarus official Discord. So you will be able to vote in a Discord poll this week that will decide whether the update will introduce either the CHAC pistol, which is available to purchase from the Orbital Workshop. It does come with a 4 bullet clip, plus 25% ammo damage, and plus 25% critical damage. So even better than the normal pistol. A high rate of fire and a quick reload.
I
So
like the quick reload.
yeah,
If it's a quick reload of a magazine, but if it's an
yeah.
actual one by one bullet reload, that would be interesting as well.
We'll have to see. Uh, well, it does look like decent. More
Yeah,
damage, more crit damage, high rate of fire, and a quick reload.
well, that's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah,
The
mm,
full mag is probably going to be the bigger thing because you
yeah.
said it was a game changer playing with a crossbow bolt loaded. I mean,
Oh yeah.
magazine fed bolt crossbow. So
Yeah, if you had a
I haven't
single
done it
shot
yet.
crossbow, you shoot, and then you spend a lot of time reloading a single arrow, and then you
Yep.
can shoot once, and long
Mhm.
time again reloading. And then
Mhm.
you had the platinum and the titanium crossbows. We had like 3 or 4 bolt magazines, 4 for the
Mhm.
for the titanium, I believe. You can actually shoot them reasonably quick. The bolts, they do more damage than arrows, because crossbow does do more damage than a bow. Except maybe the Laika Martinez one. And the reload for the multiple bolts was relatively quick. So it did
Yep.
make quite a nice difference there.
So I'm
Playing
really excited to
with
see.
a single shot crossbow or with the titanium one with the multiple bolt magazine. So
Yeah, I I'll
yeah.
eventually get to testing that, but definitely I think the pistol would be a significant buff because not so much of the substats, it's just the quicker reload plus the fact that it's a magazine.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Now this pistol comes along with new workshop pistol ammo, which is harder than ammo crafted on planet. Basically, like your arrows do more damage than the ones you craft planet side. Pistol ammo, workshop ammo will hit harder than planet side crafted one.
It's
So
interesting, yeah.
pistol could become reasonable to use again.
Yeah, you'll struggle eventually when because making the ammo would still be a higher tiered, more difficult if especially if you're starting missions going down from scratch rather than working from your outpost. Obviously, it'll be quite usable if you're using it from an outpost, which you have your infrastructure set up. But crafting bone arrows, crafting flint arrows, those are still two of your easiest, including with the
True, true,
turrets from using talents to buff the damage of the projectiles.
true.
Those are
And
things that you would be
also
missing
the
out.
fact you can recover arrows from a corpse, you cannot
Yeah,
recover
that's
bullets
also
from a
correct.
corpse.
No, correct as well. But I mean, realistically, it's the 100 to 150% damage buff plus these buffs or the actual mechanical change would be interesting to see how that sort of
Yeah.
matches up.
Now the other option for the pole is the pistol turret, which is going to be available in tier 4 of the tech tree. Does fire pistol ammo to keep your base safe. Now this does require a power source and a regular restocking of ammo to stay active. So if you want to have your say, join the Discord and vote in the poll, which will go up somewhere this week. I assume that's going to be coming week.
Yeah, I think we talked about this prior to the stream, and
Yeah,
my initial thought was, oh, 100% the sentry. But now that I'm looking at the pistol again and looking at the picture, I'm thinking, yeah, it could be up in the air. It wouldn't be as a quick line. I mean, I would still put my money on the sentry, but
I'm gonna vote for the turret myself because, like pistol, you have to
yeah,
be there to shoot something.
yeah, yeah, I know.
The turret you put on one side of the base, and when you're on the other side of the base, the turret can still shoot.
It'll be interesting how many. I mean, us building several turrets would be pretty cool. Yeah, if you could,
Oh yeah,
pretty much put
I'll be
at least
I'll be putting a whole row of
6, 7,
turrets
or
in.
9. Yeah, it obviously eats bullets, but that's going to just run into the operational costs of maintaining your base.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how durable it is and also how much damage it deals.
True, true. It is
Um,
pistol ammo,
but
huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's obviously
So
they said, well, I'm not sure if they're because if it's going to be based on the same damage as the normal tier 3 pistol, then it's also should theoretically get the buff,
yeah,
and therefore theoretically it'll also be interesting to see what the fire rate is and all these types of things,
true, true.
how well it tracks, what the engagement distance is. Does it have to be right on top of a target? All of these things would be quite more interesting and mechanic wise
Yeah,
than just a pistol. So
but yeah, like those turrets are also going to be useful because you can like place multiple ones. So if you do, for
yeah,
example, an enzyme geyser, put a couple of turrets up as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Mm.
So
It'll eat a lot of bullets, but you can easily craft bullets. So
exactly, it's an open world, so you should have tons and tons of materials. So
it'll be interesting to see how, how would it be? Do you think it would be something that you would just carry around in your inventory, or do you think it would actually take a back slot?
uh, I don't know. On the one side, I'd say it's going to be a bulk item. On the other side, we have been putting quite big stuff in our pockets.
Yeah, true. But it's also like, okay, fine, you just run around with 10 of those things, click, 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 click. It's like, bang, bring it on, bear.
You just
Um,
bring a horse with 2 bulk slots or a buffalo with 3 bulk slots to your enzyme geyser, put them inside your fortification wall, obviously, so you can carry more of those.
just snap the turret directly on your horse. Just easy peasy. Just put it, just start building tanks. Just put the Tusker and just sort of
Yeah,
stick the turrets on top of him
the
and
turret and a
everywhere, and
solar
then he
panel.
just, yes, yeah, 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 easy. He's a big boy. He can take it.
Oh yeah,
Or take the farming thing and
the
just stick
cards.
the farming thing. Yeah, the carts. Just put
Yeah.
the carts full of guns. It's now a mobile battle tank. Just put the generator on there, the
Hey,
solar panel behind that, and just build a massive chain, and then just have full of guns, and just go over the whole, savannah and just shoot everything.
definitely interesting principle. Yeah,
And I
make
think
a
that
battle
there's
tank.
way more. Yeah, exactly. There's way more interesting things that you could do with the turret, but yeah, I mean,
So
although it is interesting buff to the pistol, but yeah.
yeah.
I would say depending on how the pistol feels, the after the buff, quote unquote, yeah, people would I would still put money on the Sentry
Yeah, I mean the
because
pistol
it's also
is
been
is is,
more,
is uh, mobile, like you carry it with you all the time, like ready to
yeah,
use straight away. But it's a single
mm,
item. Turrets, you can deploy multiple of them.
yeah, yeah, of course. And like I said, there's a lot more interesting mechanics to test out. The aggro, the distance doesn't need to be aggressed first. You just randomly shoot any animal. Would Fluffy suddenly be, a victim of movement sensors and then be shot on sight? I don't
True,
know.
if it's gonna shoot all the rabbits, I'm like,
Would it
yeah, maybe not.
would it track Drax? Would it shoot airborne? All these things. It's interesting to test around with such
Yeah,
things. And would it
definitely.
aggro through walls so it'll actually shoot your own base to bits and pieces? You know,
I assume it will have a fire arc.
yeah, it'll probably be like a what is it, like a 90 degree or
Yeah.
180 degree. I don't know. It looks like a 360-degree rotating base on it's sitting on. So
Well, I can already tell you it's not gonna be a 360 degree, but this is based on like one of the bullet points in the future content.
all right, so we can probably move on then. We've
Yeah.
both given our thoughts, unless you add something, you wanted to add something to it, because it looks relatively small, compact would be the more efficient term to use.
Well, it's only
So,
slightly bigger than the pistol though on this image.
yeah, but
You
that's
have
just,
no
yeah, on
reference
the
here, huh?
image.
You
No,
have
not
no
true, but
reference.
well, uh, I would think it would be knee height, it'll be relatively small, but I mean, that's just, from what
True,
I
looking at
see.
the barrel size. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the barrel size, looking at the device, the swivel, the legs, it's a small, lightweight looking three-legged, deployable item. Or maybe is it four? Is that a leg to the at the bottom of it, or it's
No.
three-legged? It's three-legged. It's three-legged.
Three-legged. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah,
three
yeah,
hinges there.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So pretty much, I think it'll be relatively small, which also means it'll be in your inventory. I think, which means you
You
could
you could
probably
carry like 80 of them.
Well, I'm just wondering. No, it'll take you. It wouldn't stack. Oh, if you have 80 slots, but even then, you have to have probably put ammo in after you've deployed it, or do you think it would keep the ammo inside of it whilst it's in your inventory? These types of things are very interesting.
Um, Based so far, deployables. If you pick something up, the inventory goes into an overflow bag.
Mm,
So
mm,
I reckon it
mm,
will be the same for this one.
mm. That's interesting.
Uh,
I like it more than the pistol, realistically,
uh,
but yeah.
but yeah, if I count the hotbar slots, I will be able to carry like 80 of those babies around. Anyway,
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
your support makes these updates possible. So if you do want to support the game, uh, consider buying a DLC like the Icarus Pets bundle, which we already talked about. Creature Comfort Pack, Pet Companions, and the Zebra Rescue missions are included in this bundle. Or just go for the Dynamic Bundle Complete Set. Basically everything from Icarus, everything you don't have yet, which currently is at 30% off, so nice amount of discounts there. Yeah, this does like include everything: the base game, the Styx DLC, New Frontiers DLC, all the Outpost DLCs, all other DLCs, basically everything. And currently 107.68. If there's a bit on the steep side, you can always buy the base game separate, and then maybe like one of the DLCs, New Frontiers expansion or the Styx expansion, and then later on complete your set. This, like I said, this is a dynamic bundle. It just checks what don't you have yet. I'll put this in the dynamic bundle, and there's your remaining price. Yeah. So let's see, what do we have? New stuff. Not a whole lot. So the Laika dog has been added. Color variants, carcasses. Ensure foxhole on rep events are delegated until after begin play for all foxholes. Fix an issue with non-mineable foxholes when the last player on a dedicated server rejoins without the server having returned to the lobby. This is something we have encountered as well, even after the dedicated server returned to the lobby. Basically, non-mineable foxholes is you saw the nodes, but hitting it with
Mm-hmm.
the pickaxe didn't do anything. You couldn't like mine them, you didn't get no resources. Uh, After we ran a thumper, the foxholes were restored.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a way around, but it's a tad annoying. Hopefully, after with this update, this issue will have been resolved. Turned off some very verbose logging that was left in place in the foxhole recorders. Uh, they added the large stones respawn option. They added it again. Good. So hopefully, uh, like they tried to introduce this 2 weeks ago already. Like where also
Mm-hmm.
the large boulders, the large
Oh
rocks
yeah,
are
yeah.
going to be respawned. The 2 weeks ago they added the undergrowth, the foliage respawn.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice option. They had to work a bit on the large stone still, so it should have been re-added this update. Good.
How was the performance after the last patch? Was it a noticeable improvement around your base or
I
barely
was
noticeable?
uh, I was running 40 FPS in my main open world again.
I wouldn't say it's about the FPS, it's just about the experience. Like when you come around the corners from the swamp on your mount, how did the loading
That corner is still very bad. The first
but
time you
towards the
go there
base?
in
No,
every
no,
session,
towards the base.
the contact device lag is still there.
Yeah. Okay.
However, the overall lag is less.
Okay.
Now obviously I can improve it a bit more by running more thumpers around the base to like regenerate all the voxels. Because like have we discussed this, the two of us, like
Yeah,
how the voxels are stored and how all
yeah.
delta data is
I
stored? Yeah.
thought I thought they actually fixed that in the last patch, but I must have
Um,
misunderstood
they did
because
not
it was about loading.
fix it. It's still there. However, if you do like restore the voxels with a thumper,
Mm.
they return to the simple object state.
Yeah, yeah, which takes
Um,
less memory and less computation to render when
exactly.
you enter a certain distance. But I thought that was the thing
But
where they thought it
they
was.
were planning to do the same for the large rocks, the large stones.
Oh, okay.
But they ran into some issues, so they postponed this till this week.
Again now. Yeah, okay. All right.
So now all the large stones should also respawn within reason, obviously, not the one in the middle of your base, like right
Mm.
underneath your building. Um,
Yeah.
and if these have been respawned, that will make quite some difference again as well, because I've mined quite a bit of stone around my base. So if they all respawn, so turn back into the simple object, there's going to be
Hmm.
quite some difference there.
Yeah.
But I'll have to check it
Should be
out.
fun.
Like
Mhm.
I said, I haven't played the game yet today, so I have to check it out. But I will definitely. I mean, I'm gonna play, so I will by default checking this out. And they unlocked the Laika and the perk in the workshop. Obviously, related recipes, the vestiges, trophies, etc., bestiary, and everything. Let's see what I fixed. They converted the atmosphere controller to be truly data-driven. All the atmosphere data is now defined via data table rather than hard values within one blueprint. This will make it a lot easier to add new atmospheres to the game.
Probably preparing for the next expansion.
Yeah, and like future-proofing it.
Mm. Mm.
Juvenile taming talents. Now directly add or subtract from the minimum and maximum taming temperature instead of applying a percentage modifier. This should provide a more consistent bonus over all temperature ranges. Juvenile taming, up until recently, uh, didn't matter which animal you try to tame. Like
That's wild.
an Arctic
Hmm.
moa
Yeah.
in was taming at the same speed in the Arctic and in the grasslands and in a volcanic, for example.
Yeah.
Uh, this should now be changed uh, together with a couple of other fixes in here. Mounts and also juveniles now should have like the same-ish temperature system as a player has.
Mm.
And also like Tusker, which is an Arctic creature, the Ice Moa or Arctic Moa, which is an Arctic creature, they should be taming quicker in a cold environment. So if you bring them in a hot environment, put them right next to an air conditioning
Makes
to
sense.
lower the
Yeah, of
temperature
course.
to. And there are talents in the husbandry talent tree which increases the temperature ranges a bit. And that's what they're talking about
Yeah.
in this bullet point.
Now, realistically, taming is one part of the process. Once the creature is fully grown, how temperature would affect the creature's,
True.
diet and comforts. If there was actually like a happiness scale to the animal, like you would have in certain, I mean, you can point towards several games as reference, but usually if the animal is well fed, happy, etc., it theoretically, in my opinion, should have a slight buff to it, like a
Um,
well-rested buff or something similar. But
so in
that's
Icarus, it's the other way around. But it is kind of generic. Nothing
mm,
with temperature so far. It was with food and water. If you didn't feed them, if you didn't give them any water, they got a debuff in speed and
Yeah,
in stamina, etc., etc.
but
So and also like with foods, different food type, they did get a buff.
yeah, I
This
know,
has
but
been for a
I'm more
while already.
I'm more referring to like in Pal World, if you have, if you're overworking your animals or your pals and you don't feed them well and they're basically, sent to the mines to work until they die and they're very unhappy, they develop disorders and become sickly and don't work and are depressed and are, basically like human beings. So
Yeah, that's not the
if
case
you
in
did the
Icarus.
no, of course, and you can't put everything there, but it's literally just the point that look, some people really enjoy because especially if you've built them nice beds, you keep them in good condition, you give them the top tier troughs, the top tier water thingies, you've put in a lot of effort for it, and it's pretty much the same bonuses as chucking them to a ditch, throwing some food in there,
Um,
and then jumping on it when you feel you need to just jump on them.
well,
It's
this is
basically that
they're
approach.
actually working on this. Like the since a couple of weeks, the food you give the your mounts give them different buffs. Different foods give
Mm-mm-mm.
different buffs.
Yeah, of course,
So
but that's
the,
like.
I haven't seen anything about water yet.
Oh yeah,
However,
because yeah.
there has been mentions in like, hey, there is this one water trough which gives your animals filtered water,
Cool.
which will in the future apply them yet another buff.
Yeah, and yet again, it's about improving things over
Yeah,
time. I'm not, I'm just putting out ideas about how things could be improved. But yeah,
yeah.
it's good.
But yeah, for the whole taming progress, basically right now it's just you bring it home,
Yeah,
you
quicker.
make sure it has a bed, it has food and water, and ever so often you check like, hey, are you tamed already? Yes or no. Whether it
Does it?
goes quicker or slower doesn't really matter too much.
But it doesn't
So
stop the taming process.
exactly,
It'll just be slow. It does. It'll
exactly.
still get tamed, but it will just be slow. So okay.
Interesting fact. I believe it's the cats. They have a skill which speeds up taming in their vicinity.
Mm. Cats are adorable usually. So
So yeah. Yeah, there's some more about tames and buffs and stats, etc. Like they fixed a bug where relevant player stats below 0 were not applied to the owned juveniles. Player stats below 0, not sure what they mean here though.
mm. Because
Um,
if it's zero, it shouldn't be making any apply changes. So below zero. Oh, so actually a penalty.
eh, but which player stats are we talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I don't know.
Like I have one character which has like a ton of talents in the husbandry talent tree.
Below zero.
Where say mines are supposed to be faster, more stamina, more
Mm,
resistant against temperature changes, etc. Temperature changes, by the way, which until now didn't really matter for mines, which should have
mm,
been changed now, but we'll see.
yeah.
Let's see, they added additional ranks to taming temperature tolerance talents. So this must be the player talent tree then.
Hmm.
The Nomad mission, they removed quest creature modifier from Daisy on quest step completion.
Okay.
Did Daisy get a modifier? I don't know. Been a while since
Apparently,
since I
for the
did
raid.
a mission, but talking about Daisy, I hope they fixed the fact that big animals tend to like partially go through the floor right now. Like I was looking this week at Daisy. When she was walking on the floor, she was walking diagonally. Then she
Interesting.
walked over an animal bed, and all of a sudden she was like vertical again, and then back to diagonal. If she slept like half, she was lying down on the bed.
Hmm.
Half of the animal was below the floor. So I was inside my base, you know, I have my pen on top of my base. I was inside my base, I looked up and I saw half a daisy hanging on the ceiling.
It's like peekaboo.
Yes. I hope they fix that as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a visual thing, but it looks very
yeah.
weird.
Breaks immersion, so if
Yeah.
it can be fixed, it should be fixed.
Uh, they added a translatable string for the device inspection user interface. You know, have a power tool or water tool in your hand and then hover over a bench with an active power or water connection, press R. There's no translatable string, so good for players who play in non-English language.
Mm-hmm.
They reduce the size of Chicken's cloth effector capsule to hopefully improve the RAM climbing ability. This was one of the notable improvements above. Fix a bug where if an NPC died to bleed damage, it would not grant the kill experience.
Difficult to do that because bleeds don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but it could be the straw that broke the camel's back, you know?
Yeah,
The last tick to actually kill the animal.
yeah.
So if you had, for example, the Black Wolf weaponry, they
Mm.
they have a chance of doing the hemorrhage damage, bleeding.
Yeah,
So
most
you killed the animal, but you didn't get the experience because it was actually the bleed that.
procced it, yeah. True.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, last time I checked, bleeding wasn't that effective, poison wasn't that effective, fire
Well,
wasn't that
it's
effective,
all
but
damage over
it's,
time, you know. So
yeah.
actually, it's okay. It's not as good as the electroshock
Mm.
because that does damage and slows the NPC. But fire, poison, bleed,
Yeah,
they
but it
all
was,
do damage over time.
of course, but it's to the point where it was mostly like, if we had to see how long it would take to, kill a bear using fire tick or a
Well,
blood, a
remember the
bleeding
ghost
and a fire.
mammoth?
Yeah, I remember.
So
Oh
we
no, not
did
the ghost mammoth. I remember the big mammoth, but yeah,
the
what are you
ghost
calling it,
mammoth,
mammoth?
like where we shot fire arrows at it
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
poison
The
arrows and
kite.
also flare arrows,
Okay.
so it had the green
Yeah.
glow around it. Hence the
Yeah, I
ghost
remember.
mammoth.
Yeah.
Uh, all in all, it did do a decent amount of damage.
Yeah. Like I said, it always adds up, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's situational, I presume.
Yeah, you don't really need it for like a drug or something. But
Yeah.
a high HP NPC,
Yeah.
it could add up.
Yeah.
Scorpion King, Sandworm Boss,
Mhm.
fire damage,
Mhm.
very nice. So yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly easy to keep track of them as well, but yeah.
They also fixed a bug where white hit screen effects would be played every time an NPC took status effect damage caused by the player. Yeah, I can't say I suffered from this particular bug.
Yeah, doesn't sound familiar either, but yeah.
I
Okay,
don't,
good
I don't
fix.
do
Yeah.
a whole lot of. Well, actually, I do status effect damage, the electroshock.
Yeah.
But I never had like the white hit screen stuff or whatever they're talking about. So I don't know which bug it is, but apparently some people suffered from it, and this has been fixed. Good. Yeah, they added ability for the mounts and tames to have an internal body temperature and receive modifiers if the temperature exceeds comfortable range, similar to players.
Mhm.
So no longer uh, will a Tusker not overheat in a volcanic biome.
Good, good. Makes it more realistic as well, and makes
Exactly.
it necessary to be more selective of your mount, not just grab thing that go fast and go quick like.
I
So
mean,
realistically, your MOA should overheat in the volcanic biome and
uh,
then slow down significantly because
I
of
mean,
its.
the mobile will still be my go-to. Plus, we
Mm,
don't really have desert mounts as such.
yeah, no. But
Uh,
therefore, it should be more difficult and a more
true, true,
problematic event going into per se biome,
true.
not just
But yeah,
yeeting through it like the madmen we were.
yeah. Well, for the Arctic biome, there is now the Arctic MOA.
Yeah.
Don't take your Arctic mower into a desert or volcanic biome anymore, because then it will overheat and it should start taking damage and slowing down and use more water, etc., like a player does if it overheats. I like this actually, you know?
Yeah, no, it should. No, I like it as well. It does add a little bit more, like I said, difficulty scaling to the game, which is more like, you would expect a frozen tundra moa that's genetically evolved to the point of keeping and surviving in negative 50 or 60 degrees
Ah,
Celsius temperatures if it were to run in a zone which goes up to 90 degrees Celsius, where people are basically boiling in their suits like we were.
yeah.
It should die almost instantly as it sets foot in. It should almost instantly be ablaze as it
Should
enters the
overheat
zone,
pretty
and
very
in
quickly, yeah.
instant, and it should basically drop dead at your feet as you're on it, within like probably. Because if you think about it distance-wise, as we entered the volcanic biome, about to the point where we got between that gorge, where it was like 90 degrees,
Oh
as
yeah.
we were in that gorge, the thing should have just died right there in the middle of nowhere, and we would have just been like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I'm also going to die because I have to run through this 90-degree freaking temperature, unless I have a cool water or something like that to cool
Yeah.
yourself down. But anyway.
So yeah, it also is gonna make you think a bit more like, okay, which team am I gonna
Yeah.
bring this time? Like,
And that
like I said,
and that
my
does
go-to will still be the mower, the
true,
normal
but
mower. But as soon as
of
I am
course,
like, I'm gonna be doing a lot of walking around in the Arctic, then I'm gonna bring my Arctic mower.
true, and
Just
it
make
would be
sure you
like
don't, yeah, just make sure you don't have to go to the volcanic biome in the same trip.
uh, and for the volcanic biome, it would make sense to take like either like a zebra or because those are
Zebra
in
might
savanna,
indeed, yeah, zebras do live in the desert, so
yeah,
they
savanna,
should be the
the
here in
best
game
adapted for it.
in the desert, so they should be the hot biome teams.
Yeah, sort of,
But then I
and
would
it is.
like it if we would get a tame for the hotter biomes available for everyone. Because the zebras is only for the people who have
Hmm.
the pets bundle.
Well, what was the big thing that the what's this thing called again? The blue
The
back,
redback.
the red back. Yeah, the
Yeah.
red back. That would be so super awesome
Oh
for
yeah.
that one.
But I reckon it will be like Tusker-esque slow.
Yeah, it would be, but it'll be cool.
True. Or hot in this case, but yeah.
Yeah, but you just put like a whole bunch of mini turrets on top of it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Shield generator. Turrets. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a bit too much Star Wars.
No, 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 no. But the freaking, you just have to play
Dun, dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
in order to add the ability for the internal body temperature, they had to expose the hot-cold resistance values in the mounts table. Sprint speed, multiplier stats now affect mount movement speed correctly. Well, um, if I was wearing my pheromone modules, my mobile was already noticeably faster. Just saying.
yeah, true.
Oh, and I've like on my solo open world, I have one MOA with a lot of talent points into stamina and health. The stamina bar and health bar almost overlap now with the correct foods.
Interesting. Because you said already that you can get your mower to be sprinting from the entrance all the way to like
The Lima
the
1
exotic tree.
exotic tree, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a decent run
And
distance.
that is on a MOA which isn't fully leveled yet.
Yeah.
But it is
So
with a environment suit with 4 module slots and wearing 4 pheromone modules. So I reckon
yeah,
if
I
I
wouldn't
would
go
combine
four,
those
but
two, like a
yeah, I mean,
fully leveled MOA with all the points into stam and sprint speed and the stamina use for sprinting, if I combine that with the 4 modules, I'm gonna be able to sprint from one side of the map to the other, almost.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
and
I would
combined
say,
with correct foods. But yeah.
yeah, of course. I mean, realistically, it's a bit extreme. Realistically, I wouldn't go up to the fourth stacking penalty on the modules, but
I know, but come on, it's just for fun.
yeah, it's
Plus,
2.5% more,
no,
so
plus the
still
fact that
there.
I can now basically sprint from the tunnel exit to all the way towards the Lima 1-3.
Yeah, I know, but realistically, 2.5% on top of that is like you could see the tree right in front of you versus you're on the tree type of
It's
distance.
it's 12.5% for the fourth one. 12.5% effectiveness.
12. Isn't it like a base 10% speed increase?
Effectiveness. So
Yes,
the
which goes
first
down to
module is
15.
100% effective, the second module is 50% effective, the third is 25, the fourth is 12.5%
Yeah,
effectiveness.
yes,
Uh,
which is a percentage of it being.
True, and I believe it's more like 25 or 50% increase for the first module.
I don't think it was that much.
It's decent.
I don't think it was
Decent
that much.
decent increase for the pheromone module.
No, it was, but it wasn't that much. I think you're the one that should know, but I think it was like 30%, and then it's 15%, and then it was like 12%, and then it was like 7%,
Yeah,
basically, I
whatever.
think, which is it's quite a bit, but yeah, it's sort
Whatever.
of
I just
yeah.
like running around
Was it
with that
20?
environment with 4 modules and like
Yeah,
swapping
it's
between
nice.
4 pheromone modules and then 4 packing modules or 4
Yeah,
the other patcher modules or whatever.
it's a nice
Just
suit.
fun.
I like it. I mean, I switched out for a reason to it, so
Yeah.
it's definitely nice.
Anyway, more fixes. They made some adjustments to the chicken collision and walk angle, so they should be able to better walk up ramps and stuff. Uh, Fix the tri-state ambiguity with voxels being unmined or partially mined or fully mined, thanks to Zep. Arcanist is the one where the ghost voxels, which was mentioned in the not in the new content, I believe the noticeable improvements. The ghost voxels where you could hit them
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you didn't get anything anymore.
True.
Right, let's see what do you have in future content. Not a whole lot though. We will be getting a new version of the ghillie suit.
Yep, first item. So I think this was mentioned in one of the previous patches and the discussions we did. So it was good to see that coming back because the last time we used it, used the ghillie suit was way back when.
Way back
Um,
when we were still afraid for animals.
yeah, pretty much. So it's been
The ghillie
what was it?
suit, don't wear it in the Arctic because it's cold as heck, especially when you get your suit wet.
Eventually, it was even in the normal forest biome, you would freeze. You would actually get
Yeah,
a cold debuff if you were actually a little bit wet.
yeah.
Can't remember the exact reason why we wanted to wear it initially. It
You're
was the
way less perceived stealth. Perceived
yeah,
threat,
of course,
sorry.
yeah,
You're way
yep,
stealthier with the ghillie suit. That's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
whole reason of wearing the ghillie suit is to
A ghillie suit to begin with, yeah,
yeah, be
be
able
close, yeah.
to walk up to a bear without him noticing you and then all of a sudden hit him in the face.
Hmm.
I mean, you use it to make sure you didn't get attacked by bears, to like sneak past it, but yeah.
It also makes sense if it actually gave you a nice speed boost as well, because ghillie suits are usually relatively light. So, but yeah,
True, but they were good to use in the desert as well, though.
yeah,
They did cool you down quite nicely.
yep. So,
And let's see.
so idle modifier for the turrets to use less power, so when they're not shooting, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
So add specific exclusions for mounts and passive creatures when targeting. This is for the turrets.
Yeah,
Unless the
yeah.
player
So
has
that.
damaged them recently.
Oh
So
no. So if
if
you
you
actually accidentally hit your mount, I'm guessing.
yeah, then the turret is gonna finish it for you.
Ouch.
But
Alright.
also, like, normally it's gonna ignore the equics, but if you shoot the equics and you don't manage to kill it with your first shot, and then the turret will finish it for you.
It depends on where it is and the distance.
If it's
So
close enough, within range,
yeah.
etc. Yeah.
We would need to test the distance of aggro. I'm wondering if I shoot you or you shoot me, if it will be like, oh, kill person.
Um. Well, it is mounts and passive creatures. It doesn't say anything about players. But yeah, it would be
We're
funny.
creatures. Last time I told you, we human beings are still
Yeah.
animals. So, yeah.
So if you run in front of me towards the base, you're close to base, and I shoot you an arrow in the back, and then you
And
turn
then all these
around.
turrets just start
Yeah,
looking at me with this red light and like, oh no.
exactly. You turn around to like, hey, what you doing? And you get shot in the back by the turret.
Yep,
Gonna be
yep.
interesting to test out, that's for sure. And we will be testing this out, don't worry.
Unless it'd be interesting to see how accurate tracking wise they are. And like I said, if you
Also,
would be able
yeah,
to shoot a diving drac, no drac,
Deathwing.
Deathwing, for example.
Deathwing,
So
Dreadwing, Dreadwing, what's it called?
the
Whatever, yeah.
Dreadwing,
They're
exactly.
annoying. The easiest
Yeah,
way
for
to kill
example.
them is by shotgun.
Exactly, but it will be nice to be able to see the turrets taken care of them, so that's pretty cool.
Actually, in last week or 2 weeks ago, was last week in the update, they finally changed the behavior of flying NPCs like the flyers,
Mm.
gas flyers, and the Kia and the Dreadwing to be repelled by the creature deterrents.
Oh, nice.
Finally,
Because yeah, those did nothing last time I checked.
exactly.
So
So that has been added now. Just saying. Um, Update ammo count, turret battery low ammo count. Fix a bug where turrets would not make targets hostile when shooting at them. So Drak wanders
yeah.
into range of the turret, turret starts shooting the Drak, Drak is like, yeah, I don't care, until it dies.
Ah, and then just
Now,
yeah.
turret shoots Drak, Drak's like, who's shooting me? I'm gonna attack you. And he's gonna start
Hmm.
attacking the turret.
Yeah, makes sense.
Good.
But that's where your porcupines come in and your brambles come in and all these things. So
Yeah. Disable the nav on turrets to make sure animals didn't walk around behind them to attack. Which, in my opinion, also says between the lines, your turrets have a field of
the arc,
fire.
yeah, yeah, which makes sense. It should be.
Yeah,
All turrets usually in any game doesn't have like a 360-degree arc, but it usually has a different variant. It would actually be interesting to see what the arc would be. I'm probably sure
true.
it would be like 180 degrees. That would be very effective. If it was 160 degrees, it would be pretty much okay as well because you can still
Yeah,
cover
like
a
at
decent
least close
range.
to 180, so you can put
Mm.
them alongside your wall.
Yeah, even then you would just have two next to each other to a point where you would just cover the one slightly to the left, the other one slightly to the right to make sure that they would sort of maybe overlap in the middle a little bit. So if you had like a
Uh,
choke point, both would be able to shoot at them, or else they would take care of their respective
uh,
halves.
the bigger your base, the more turrets you're gonna need to cover the entire wall, obviously.
No, of course,
Depending
but
also indeed on the range of the turrets, but yeah.
there was no mention regarding the power draw of these things either, but I wouldn't imagine it to be
No.
quite large. So,
Well, we'll see. My main open world has a ton of power generation anyway, so and like 50 plus advanced batteries, so let it draw power. I don't care.
this is future content, right? So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see that since the basic full round damage would go from 100 to 150. Isn't that current?
Uh, as Jake has explained a while ago, um,
A
future
mix of both.
content uh,
Yeah,
does sometimes include things for the
iteration. Okay.
current
Yeah.
update, because at the time of closing the ticket it was not sure whether or not it would make it into the updates, things like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Like you see the CHAC pistol and you see turrets, right? Like now there's going to be a
Yeah.
vote which of the two are going to be in for next week's update,
Yeah.
which would need
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
that
see what you
both
mean.
of
I see
them
what
are
you're. Yeah. 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 I know what you mean.
complete
Could
or
be.
close to completion already.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
So
No, that
yeah.
makes sense.
Fixed bug where nearby hostile creatures would not attack the turret if an
Yeah.
ally was shot nearby. Drax, I like how they tend to run around in groups now. So you
Hmm.
shoot one and all the others come running towards you. They now also
Yeah,
come
yeah.
running towards
Turret.
the turrets.
Yeah.
Tweaked performance of the orbital laser in the open world. Made mounts use the same damage logic as players for the orbital laser. This is actually one of the storyline operations we have not done yet. I kind of want you to be there as well, where we will encounter the damage caused by the orbital laser.
Interesting.
Let's see, increase basic pistol round damage, new workshop pistol ammo, which deals
200
200
damage. Yeah,
damage
yeah, I
shot.
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
So
cool.
plus 25% bonus if you get the Chak pistol. That's, you know, fucking.
And another
Never mind.
25% crit as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah,
And then that's and a magazine of 4 with a quicker reload and fire
yeah,
rate. So it
yeah.
could be quite, decent. Yeah, decent.
Adding the new workshop pistol ammo bundle, so it will be
I
the
want it to
same,
be
I
20
reckon,
or
as
50.
the, I don't know,
It's
or
50
maybe
per bulk
5.
pack.
No, I don't think 5. 5's gonna be
No,
way too
too
few
few.
bullets.
It'll
Well, it
probably
would
be
be the
50.
same as the arrow bundles. Like you
It's
bring it
50.
down. If you don't consume it, you can bring it back up. Once you consume it, the bundle turns into a number of bullets, and you can no longer bring it back up
It's
to
not
space.
50.
I don't
How
know.
many arrows do you get in a bundle? Is it 20? No,
Depends.
is it 20?
Depends. Some bundles you only get 5, but the
Oh, yeah,
standard
yeah.
nice ones, Aruda, I believe you have 25 or so.
Oh, 25. You're right. Yeah, it was an odd number. It was 25. Yeah. It'll probably be 25 bullets in, but 25 bullets won't last long because they're
True,
lost on
but it
use. So,
will. It could help you out to the point where you actually are able to craft your own ammo,
yeah,
and
it'll
you can
probably be
always cool
spent.
down more.
No, of course, of course. The cost would be interesting, and the
True,
quantity.
true.
I'm assuming those are the two different things. But anyway,
And the dark brown Laika dog has been added. His workshop item, like everything to go with it.
mm-hmm.
And that's kinda
The
the
Patchnotes.
patch
Yeah,
notes. It's a short one this time.
good. I mean, sometimes being too long and extensive isn't always great either, but it's
Well,
concise.
usually it does mean there's a lot in the update.
Mm.
A lot of interesting stuff to talk about as well.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, a quick one ever so often is nice as well.
Yeah, and then again, it's introducing the only thing that would have been nice is them to either if the Discord voting isn't enabled, which you said it isn't, it would have been nice to know when it would have been set active. Like, oh, it'll be starting on Monday and run through till Friday, so that you actually know rather than having to check
True,
every
true.
day or whatever the time might be. So communication is key, I'm just saying.
Yep. But yeah, we'll just have to wait
Figure it
and
out.
keep an eye
Yeah.
out. I'll keep an eye out on the Discord
Yeah.
channel to see when we will get the when the poll will be put up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, this is basically the patch notes for today. I'm gonna take a quick break, then I'll be doing some gameplay to test my main open world to check Laika variants and the perk, and not a whole lot of new stuff this week. Basically, the new doggies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll be back with a new gameplay stream. In the meantime, Carl, I want to thank you for being here to do the Patchnotes discussion. So at least it's a discussion and not a monologue.
Pleasure to be here, as always. You can always give me a message. I'll pop in if I'm able to, which I am most of the time. So thanks for having me.
Yep. Anytime. I can't wait till you have your gaming rig back up, so we can do
It'll be a
some
fun
nice
time.
gaming again.
Gaming again. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Looking forward to it myself. Eventually, just have to get everything else sorted out. But I'm hoping within reason, maybe middle of June, maybe sometime during July, could be possible. We'll see.
Just do the middle of June, so we can
Yeah, I mean,
also continue to storyline missions on the now Monday night characters
yeah,
co-op.
like I said, I have to get that stuff sorted out one way or another. But anyway, thanks, and I'll check you online your stream later tonight. All right,
Alrighty.
cheerio.
So yeah, like I said, I'll be taking a quick break, like 10-15-ish minutes, and then I'll be back with a new stream with subsequent gameplay. So thanks for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in a bit.